Honey Pigeons, episode 63. We are here back at the coop, and I realized something, guys, as I was looking around. We are not. I'm feeling very festive because it's December and we're getting towards the holidays, and I don't see a lot of festive garnishments here throughout the place, and I think we got to work on that.
You didn't bring the decorator in?
You know, you didn't bring a wreath. Why didn't you bring a wreath?
Hey, listen, I don't have time during December to be very festive. I'm a very busy man.
Meech and his bartending. I mean, this guy's bartending like 7 nights a week right now. But hey, I can't knock the hustle.
And some days as well.
Tom, as our pseudo decor coordinator, can we get on top of this? Because it feels very normal in here, and I want to feel some holiday spirit. You know,
we need
you could just shorten that and call them
some additional lights, maybe some green.
We got a little green. It looks fine on our screen, bud. I can see us. Check in. Got to check to make sure that we're doing okay here to start.
Do you think we need a menorah? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the menorah. We definitely need a menorah.
Is the volume right?
I get here at 8 p.m. You can't do me a favor of being on time. What type of dog and pony show is this? Drew Smith out of the gate. Drew, can you confirm you can actually see us? Because, you know, here we are.
We have 17 cameras in here and nobody could see us.
Drew, now you know like what we're doing with this thing. All right, so we're just.
The thing is, I look so handsome tonight.
It doesn't matter because do recall there are at least a handful of people that are going to be listening to this, so the show must go on. And you know, if you saw any of the stuff we put out on the internet about the show, we went with the theme of the panic switch, and we said we're not panicking, you're panicking, because we've had a lot of people that are involved with this show that over the course of the past handful of weeks have been maintaining that life is good and a win's a win. And, you know, a certain individual that's sitting over across from me at the bar has just been saying, you know, life's gravy for the entire season. He's not been really taking any of the, you know, clear evidence of issues with the team to heart in any way. And he's just been enjoying the ride. And I got to wonder because, you know, I think it was the last show that I posed the question of, is it possible that, you know, we have been getting by with some suspect play for the most part and making it happen. But in reality, there's bigger issues there. And, you know, the game on Sunday clearly seemed to show that, yeah, you know, there very well could be. And so, Mark, I have to come to you because, you know, I'm assuming you're not panicking. I guess you're going to tell me this is just one game and Super Bowl or bust, yada, yada, yada. Go ahead. Just go ahead. I don't even care. Go ahead.
I'm not panicking. Are you panicking?
You know, I'm not panicking, but my level of concern is got to be much higher than yours.
Sunday was not enjoyable after the first quarter. It's interesting. I got a text from our friend Ace. The first quarter, he said, I made it in time for the game. What a great game so far. And I gave a hell yeah. And it was going well. I was concerned we were settling for field goals. And then it all went downhill. I have heightened awareness, but I'm not worried.
Right.
If that makes any sense at all.
Heightened awareness.
Can I give you mine?
I am aware of some weaknesses that were able to be exposed.
You've become aware of them finally.
Repetition.
Yeah. That took that game.
But I am confident. And I think what I've always said is I believe in the system and I believe in our coaches. And I believe
there is no
in Jalen Hurts.
It's like a brand new coordinator.
And so
okay.
It's Wednesday and we play Dallas on Sunday and let's kick some ass.
Like if this WIP I'd cut you off. You're at your 2 minutes. Meech, go ahead. Because like
here's my get around even seeing any place in the game. So I get the unique experience of not sitting through that like it must have been torture. I know Hurts going in and out, and then like literally I barely know what went on besides the highlights. But I do know this. I know the game started out where the Eagles stopped San Francisco 2 times, and the Eagles went right down the field twice. They didn't get the touchdown. But here, did you ever think of this? Number one, this was the Niners Super Bowl. They've been thinking about this game since we beat them in the playoffs last year, and and they came out. They want blood right away. I mean, I see the thing. Even Deebo Samuels in the beginning of the game returned the ball from 8 yards deep in the end zone. Like they were ready to come out there and fight. So here's what Sirianni maybe did. He said, "All right, listen, we stopped them. We stopped them to a death in a row. So we know we can stop them. We know we can march down the field. Let them have their moment, and then when the playoffs comes, we'll know everything they're trying to do, and we'll still have our actual game plan." What do you think of that?
Well,
Isn't that a plan and a system?
I mean, I'm pretty much just making that all up. It was a joke, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Okay. Do you guys recall what I said last week and I was roasted for it? Come on, you got to remember. I hope you were paying attention a little bit. Anyone?
About how you're very concerned about their defense?
No, about how I said, could it be possibly a better situation for them to lose the game? Remember that? No, hold on. Just hear me out. You know, we saw Brandon Graham on Monday. You know, we heard him on the radio. We know for a fact that a lot of these players are very upset about what happened. Very upset. It actually, if they were going to lose the game, that actually might have been the way to lose it, to be honest with you, because now they've got a situation where they got 2 games coming up and things could get sketchy real quick if they don't get the job done, at least in one of these games, right? And with the way that game went down on Sunday, you know, a lot of these guys are going back to the drawing board. So I'm not telling you that I think it was necessarily a good thing that they lost, but you know, I think absolutely a reality check for everybody, especially I think the coaches. And it's funny because you hear a lot of stuff on the radio. All right, sounding good. The Drew Smith in the chat is what we needed. It's
Fink
what we
is
needed.
a technical genius.
He said it would have been funny if when the lights came on, we were all naked, but maybe that was just him. And I don't think, Drew, anybody needs that. Let's be honest. And I appreciate his commentary.
I kind of like this better that nobody could see me. I'm enjoying it.
It's too late now. You're back.
Oh, it's too late.
I
We're
think
back.
what you're saying,
Oh,
Jesse,
we're back.
and what I am trying to articulate is our backs were definitely not against the wall going into the 49ers game. We were the front runners completely, 2 games up on everyone.
Right.
I am confident when our backs are against the wall, and I'm anxious to see how this team responds with our backs against the wall. And for this team, even though we're still in the number 1 spot, our backs are against the wall this coming Sunday, and I think we're going to respond.
Yeah, they better fucking win Sunday.
Well,
Amen.
I'm not even. It's funny because.
Fink, help me out here. I know you're with me.
By the way, Fink, welcome to the main stage. I
Hey,
see
guys,
that
how
you
you
have
doing?
Hey.
labeled yourself main stage.
Now
Fink.
on the main stage.
We brought you up from the
Hey.
makeshift Fink tank, and that's because Roger
you.
Rock Matthews is busy playing in his old
He's-
head basketball
He's
league.
been fired. Sorry,
He should be
folks.
fired.
I'm taking over Rock's spot, and I'm going to be.
Maybe
here
we should
forever.
have Drew replace him. I bet Drew would be here. Drew would not be missing this for a basketball
Right.
game. It's egregious.
Drew's here every
behavior.
week. Nita's
But
here
also
every week.
What Mark was saying, I'm not panicked either.
Squirrel.
You're still 10-2. You're the best team. You're in a driver's seat. NFC East. It's going to come down to this game this week. We're going to blow the doors off the Cowboys because you just got your ass whooped at home.
Hey, I'd like to bring up a certain game in 1990 where the Eagles were playing
Yeah.
the 49ers.
Nietzsche's throwback moment
even-
that most people
I
will
was
miss.
born.
In
I'm with it, though.
Candlestick Park, I was a young 11-year-old in Somerton. I remember, I specifically remember this day. Me and a couple buddies, I think we had soccer practice or something. So we went to the Burger King on Bustleton Ave in the Leo Mall, and they had TVs in there. We, got a couple fries and watched the game.
You watched the game at Burger
We
King?
watched the game
That's
at
legendary,
Burger
bro.
King.
And
And then right
onions?
after that, we went to my buddy's house and played football because it was like, I remember it being unseasonably warm that day. It was almost like I guess it wasn't too unseasonable. It was early October, I guess. But anyway, the Niners were the best team in the league, went on to win the Super Bowl that year. The Eagles went into Candlestick Park and absolutely fucking waxed them. I mean, Garner
Yes.
had a huge day. Cunningham went off. It was one of the greatest games ever, but it didn't mean that the Niners were any worse. These games happen, man. Like the Niners were so up for this game. They were so prepared and ready for this game. I don't think there's anything the Eagles could have
And
done.
had 10 days the rest before
Well,
it as
games
well.
in 14
Yeah.
days. Not making excuses. Just like
No,
maybe
and-
the guys were a little tired.
And now everybody knows we're in this cycle now. We're going to play Dallas on rest, But I do want to go back to that because that was, how there's some games where the outcome was so decisive or, you have like 3 or 4 games. I'll
Yeah.
give you another one no one cares about. I don't even know what year this was. It's probably early 90s. Penn beat Michigan in basketball when Michigan was like, I don't think it was Fab Five, but they were like 3rd ranked in the country, right? Like I'll never forget that game. I remember that game. Charlie Garner was one of my favorite Eagles of all time. One of the underappreciated guys. He ran hard and he went off in that game. He ultimately ended up playing for
the
them.
Niners.
Exactly. So
And won a Super Bowl with
that game was the shit. But yeah, here's my concern though, and I think Brad, the Radical Squirrel's alluding to this in the chat. We do have a cycle with the Cowboys. We usually beat the Cowboys at home, and we don't usually win down in Dallas. We've had a couple games. The the Jordan Matthews walk-off touchdown. Am I getting that right? Jordan Matthews, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The walk-off touchdown comes to mind, but we go down there. We usually play. Remember we played down there with Gardner last year, and we had the shootout with them and lost.
Could have won though.
Wasn't that
gonna-
Troy Vincent 100-yard interception return in the 4th quarter? Wasn't that in Dallas, or am I mistaken?
It may have been long ago. You got your pickle juice game, but I would say in recent history, that's a tough place for us to play.
Yeah.
And I'd be lying. What's interesting to me is
So you have the butt fumble game, wasn't that
no, that was the Jets.
That was the
wasn't it?
Jets.
that was the Jets. That's right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thanks,
My bad.
Mark.
I'm usually good. I'm usually
Throwing
good
off my
historian.
train of thought with the butt fumble.
My
Tom,
bad.
you want to kill that system?
Yep.
Okay. So it's interesting to me. Normally in this spot, 10-2, headed to Dallas, we'd be like Dallas week. But everybody, I don't want to say everybody's panicking, but we are still so shell shocked from that game. Like nobody has even turned the page to get ready for that.
I've turned it.
You're not turning the page.
What are you
You're not
talking
turning the
about?
page. You're still thinking about that game. Listen, this episode is largely about that game, so you're going to stay. No, we should ceremoniously decide we're going to move to Dallas, but I'm not ready to do so. I would say this: moving into this game, though, this is, I think, a tough spot for us, man. Like everybody played their asses off against the Bills. Then we came in, we played a hard fought game, got our asses kicked. Now we got to go play these guys who are clicking on all cylinders on their 10 days rest. If the Eagles go down there and kick their ass, that's going to show me a lot. It's going to show me a lot. But what I realized is even if they were to lose that game, it's really kind of Seattle that you would end up having to you can't have a letdown there. Dallas has got a tough schedule. But one thing I wanted to ask you guys,
The Seattle game in many respects, sorry to interrupt you, is just as hard or harder.
It might be. They played very well against the Cowboys in that game last week. After
Going into Seattle on a
looked like
Monday
they
night
were-
is not an easy task.
Yeah, they looked like they were ready to be, shot and killed and done, put out to pasture, and they played a great game at the Cowboys. So we never play well in Seattle either, by the way. So that's not a good thing. But I want to ask you guys a question because I hear people on the radio and talk in media debating, it's the coaches, it's the players, it's execution, yada, yada, yada. And I just wonder, with the level of talent we have, I mean, look at our line. We got all the vets that have been great for years. We've got explosive players all across the offense. Defense, you can certainly point to some holes. But my point is this. Don't you think there are coordinators out there that if they were, strategizing how to use these players, that we would have seen a more cohesive, effective game plan at some point during the season? Like, that's my concern.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Listen, they had some key injuries this year that really hurt. I think the biggest one, it was Avonte Maddox. You see how much they miss him every week. I mean, he was huge. N'Kobe Dean, you expected a lot out of him.
And he looked good in moments, but he can't
did.
stay healthy.
I mean, you didn't expect too much, but you wanted him out there and showing improvement. And when you're not getting it over the middle, you lose all your confidence. And all these completions are like, look at that. It was a 7-yard pass to Debo, and he just bullied our DBs down the field to make it an 80-yard touchdown. It's embarrassing when it's like that.
I have to shout out Dan McQuaid because Dan McQuaid is like, how like real shows have the guy that's running the stats in the background? He is doing that for us, and he's pointing out it was a Jerome Allen jumper with a few seconds left in Ann Arbor.
Oh, shit.
That was anyone who's followed Big Five basketball for a Penn fan, Jerome Allen, Matt Maloney, that was absolutely the best era of Penn basketball. Now, my dad will tell you that they made the Final Four back in the 70s.
Also, shout out to Dan McQuaid, a new father. His son
Yes.
signed
Congrats,
for
Dan
the other
McQuaid,
day.
baby.
Congrats,
Congrats,
Dan,
Dan.
and his wife Jan are doing well at home. And
He actually put a nice video together for us, which we're going to show in a minute. But
Is this a sign? All of these things falling the way they have
what
this week,
Dan's baby being
that Penn is going to beat Kentucky on Saturday, Desi?
I see where you're going. I hope so. They lost a really tough game with that LaSalle 3-pointer from the
Runner,
freaking half court.
Runner
Yeah,
for
that was tough.
35.
I was in the building for that. I'm gonna head down there this weekend and watch. You know,
I think I might join you.
when Kentucky comes to town, you got to get down there. What's Kentucky ranked right now, Dan McQuaid? Dan, can you hit us up in the chat with that? I do not know that off the top
They
of my
lost to UNC
Our
Wilmington
ombudsman,
last
Dan
week.
McQuaid.
Interestingly, there are people in our midst that have not been happy with the Eagles' approach and have decided to take on the media members that are defending the coaches and the team. And that's one, Eric Fink, who boldly goes where no one else goes. He is involved in multiple Twitter feuds with different Philadelphia sports media personalities.
Love
Fink,
stirring
would
it
you
up.
care to comment on how you're calling people out for being apologists for the Eagles?
It's not even that. I'm more mad at these beat writers because the run the ball guys are down there and they're calling the fans idiots. That's what they're basically saying. They're really out there. They're like, oh, these guys are stupid. They're big idiots, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, our running back ran the ball 9 times. Like, you don't want that in your game plan.
Okay, I'm not following you. So can you clarify? The run the ball guys, they want the ball to be run more.
Both those things can be true.
And
Yeah.
are you saying 9 runs is enough?
No.
Okay, so
So
you're
what I'm
the
saying
run the
is
ball guys?
the media guys are out there. They're calling these fans who are down there
Right.
at NovaCare idiots.
Right,
And,
saying okay.
but like, they're not.
Right.
And they always just want fans to be like, they think they're the smartest in the room, and you guys aren't. Like,
Right.
stop.
And we've talked about this. Obviously, there's a lot of plays that might be called runs that are being.
Fink, aren't you in the
audibled out
media
of-
now? Aren't you a media member
Yeah,
now?
he's
What
media.
are you talking
Fantastic
about?
Fox show.
Yeah. Well,
Actually,
listen,
I don't
wasn't
know what
here-
you guys are talking about.
I
You
met-
can't hold me down.
I met your buddy from the Fox show, your co-host.
Jason Martinez.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
met
guy.
Jason, and I told him, look, I like what you guys do. You seem like a good guy. You're talented, but you need to back off Fink. You cannot take Fink for your Fox show. That's not how this works. And he seemed a little bit taken aback by that. I was very direct.
We already had a rough negotiation.
That's
last
exactly
spring.
how it went. I was like, oh, you're like a legit media person. It's like, hey, what's up, buddy?
He's
How
like
you doing?"
Suge Knight at a
Nah, he looked
charity event.
He looked very official.
I love this run the ball debate because it means fucking nothing.
It does. Exactly. I
Like,
just don't like them talking about the fans.
It's all in context. You run the ball if you're winning, and if you're down, you're not going to run the ball. It's the run the ball thing is like the mid-season radio argument version of going over the schedule before the season.
Yeah.
Be like, win, loss. Oh, they're going to win in Green Bay, losing. Like it means nothing in the grand scheme of things. If they're going to successfully run the ball, then run it more. If not, then abandon it. Who gives a shit?
So
They'll figure it out this week.
I think
They didn't run the ball enough. Absolutely, they didn't run the ball enough. But would it have mattered? What would they have not given up 6 touchdowns
And
in
this
a
is
row?
where I
because
come in
they
again
ran?
because it was 14-6 at halftime. It was a 1-possession game in the third quarter. Like, you abandoned. They ran 2 times in the second quarter. That's insane. And then the best time in the first quarter, we were running the ball. It was 6-6. We looked the best we did. We didn't capitalize with the touchdowns, but
This might all go back to my theory that they
at
didn't
the end
want
of
to
the-
show anything, and they just gave this game up.
and I will say at
let
the end of the
San
day, like
Francisco
Meach said,
have
it really does not mean shit about running
Look,
the ball.
you
Stop calling Philly
no,
fans
no, no.
idiots.
You got to have some
Tell 'em,
balance.
Fink.
And
Tired of
look,
it. Standing up for the
I'll
people.
tell you one thing that
The people he left behind.
One thing I'm tired of. Just like the Eagles seem to, for example, they don't value the linebacker position. When it comes to running backs, they did make the move for Swift, which kind of indicated maybe they realize they need somebody there that's explosive, what have you. But what they've done with him this year, I just can't understand. If they're deliberately trying to make sure the guy has, load management so he doesn't get hurt because he's got a history of being injured, okay. But there have been multiple occasions where his explosiveness has blown open a game. And by the way, if you look at his Lions tape, there are so many screen passes that he, went for 60 yards. Like, why the hell can we not unleash this dude? Because guess what?
especially with offensive linemen who can get out and block
Mobile.
downfield for
Right.
him.
But look at it like this.
Fire Brian Johnson.
With the Niners, they started to get Christian McCaffrey off, and then they're running Debo behind us. They have the threat of McCaffrey. Like, it sets everything up. And I just don't understand. What are we waiting for to say Swift is the feature back and we're going to run him until you stop him? Like, I just don't understand. Why can't we do that? Why?
I was even watching the stupid Cowboys last week in that Thursday night game, and they're running Tony Pollard. and they're running him good. So then they mix it up with CeeDee Lamb, and he gets like 20 yards on a run. Like, you got to mix shit up. You have to be creative with the run game. You can't just try and take a DeAndre Swift and run him between tackles and think it's going to be successful.
Are we longing for the days of Andy Reid and the James
Absolutely
Trash
not.
end
I
around?
hate
Is
Andy
No.
Reid.
No,
that what I'm
That's
hearing?
what we're dealing
I think
with.
what you're saying is that you're seeing a lack of, and I agree with this, a lack of ingenuity
There's no
in
creativity
the
Yeah.
offense. And it felt like over the past few years, the Eagles have always been at the cutting edge, and they've always been ahead of teams on what they've done. And other than the tush push, which is obviously not that creative, there does seem to be a lack of ingenuity. I don't even remember early in the first quarter, they lined up 4 wideouts on the right, and they lined up Swift behind them, and they threw a wide receiver screen to Swift, and he got like 25 yards. So they basically had all of the other 4 wide receivers blocking for him. And I was like, wow, this is like the first time in 6 weeks I've seen the Eagles run something different, something new. And so I am with you that they need to get creative. They need to be cutting edge. They need to be ahead of the other teams and what they're doing.
And I seen there was a stat. Brock Purdy had 4 passes that had air yards of 8 air yards for 125 yards.
Right.
That's insane. Why can't we do it? Like,
Yeah.
it's not that crazy.
It's
Well,
just-
Debo's a straight up bully.
Well, yeah,
He's a monster.
Yeah,
They got
and,
ball-
like
yeah.
he really is.
Ayuk is nasty. They
Yeah.
got you got Kittle.
But,
I mean,
but here's
they
the
got-
thing. You have guys on your team that are just as nasty, and it's your job to get them the ball in space. And they're just not
Yeah,
doing
AJ
that.
Brown can bully you. Do that with AJ Brown.
AJ Brown could run a 7-yard slant pretty much every play.
Yeah.
And I think it,
They get
you know,
10 yards. Right.
I'm just confused. I'm confused
And-
why up to this point, with the level of talent that we have yet to see a cohesive game from the offense. And that's what I was saying last week. You know, like, that's just a fact. The record is the record. I'm psyched to be here. And you know what the funny thing is? If somebody had told you they were going to go beat the Cowboys, beat the Chiefs, beat the Bills, and then lose to the Niners, and we'd act like the sky is falling, you wouldn't have believed it.
Some of us
You wouldn't
are
believe it.
acting like the sky is falling.
Well, I'm telling you why it really pisses me off, though, because we had that whole thing with their fan base talking shit to us, and, you know, their radio guys puffing out their chests. And I had a guy right behind me who was talking shit from like the box above me the whole game. And very quickly, there was nothing you could say. You know what I mean? You get to a point where there's
It's the
nothing you can
worst.
say.
I
You're
would
just
have
like,
killed them.
there's nothing.
Literally.
Well, he was up high. I was trying to get somebody. I was going to lift him up, but if you were there, you would have done it. But this guy was going off, and I was just like, I can't take this anymore. You know what I mean? It was awful.
But that's
So
the other thing.
that's what pisses me off, is that this was supposed to be us saying, no, we don't care. We would have kicked your ass last year with Brock Purdy too. We're better than you. We're
Right.
tougher than you. And we got our asses kicked. And as a fan, you know what? That sucked.
But this is all the Niners have, and this is all they will have for the season. We are a next level football team. This
Yeah,
is what they
but they
want.
beat us by 30 points. So right now, what
Yeah,
they
well,
have
yeah,
is
yeah,
pretty
but-
good.
And we also
pretty
lost to
good,
the
and
Jets, but we're 10-2.
What confuses me is Purdy looked so bad on the first 2 drives.
Exactly.
So
And but
All
then
right.
we didn't run
Now-
the ball, and the defense got gassed. And I was kidding.
There was a uniquely Philly scenario that transpired in this game that we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on. And that is this legend of Big
Oh,
Dom, who we all
Big
know.
Dom.
Big Dom is, become the mascot of Philadelphia. A very interesting scenario that transpired there. He gets kicked out of the game for having an altercation with a player while the game's going on, which is rare for somebody who's not part of the coaching staff or a player. Gets a standing ovation as he's walking off the field, which was funny. So I was interested to see how that was going to go, because, there was 2 ways it could have gone. Either Sirianni is like, this is a bad look, the NFL is not going to like this. Dom, you can't do that. Or Sirianni was going to be like, fuck him, like, you're my guy. I got your back. I don't give a shit, And interestingly, we had an event on Monday night for the.
What's all this we shit?
No, hold on. Hold on. I'm going to get to that. We had an event for Make the World Better. We partnered with the Chris Long Foundation, Connor Barber and Chris Long, for team dinner at Steak 48. Shout out to Steak 48 for giving us the restaurant for this fine event. It occurs to me that everybody here but Meech was there. And I thought, like, he hadn't given me shit about it, but he just made that comment. So now I know he does feel a
He
certain
was
sort
holding
of
on to
way.
that when he was
I'm gonna
waiting.
have to-
I feel no certain way, honestly.
I'm going to have to explain that. But
He
anyway,
has to.
point
He
is
has
this.
to. He has to stand in for Rock, since Rock ain't here. Did
Yeah,
I see
Rock
Rock in the
was
chat?
in his
How
feelings.
can
I
Rock be in the chat, but he's not in the StreamYard?
He's
I
on the
need
bench
to
right
bust balls.
He's on the
about
bench.
it.
That's right.
I think
I honestly, God, do not.
I think
feel
Rock is in the chat, like on his way home from basketball, looking at his phone, probably about to crash. I see Devin Caney in the chat. Devin was nice enough to lend us her services to be on the red carpet and interview people, which was amazing. Her and our good friend Pat Gallen, those guys are the best. They rocked with me.
Fink's getting scolded right now.
In the chat.
What did you do? What did you do? Okay, Fink, do you have those pictures, by the way?
By the way, Big Dom was at the event that I was at tonight as well.
Oh, was he? Okay.
So he and I
yes.
tried to grab him to come here, but he was with his kids and
okay. So
so he's still going.
Yeah. So that day, I text someone. I said, "This is on Monday." I said, "We got to get Big Dom," and I said, "It's probably unlikely. On a normal Monday, you would probably get him, but after what happened last night, I don't think so. I was expecting the guy have to lay low. Maybe Nick was
be
like
on Jimmy Kimmel that night or something.
No, Nick was like chill. Anyway, we're at the event. A bunch of former players. Selleck and AJ Feely, Mike Quick, Howard Carmichael. Who else was there? But a bunch of people.
Rock.
Anyway,
correct.
So Big Dom walks in, and I swear to God, when Big Dom walked into this restaurant, it was like, no, I do want those photos. It's good. Big Dom walks in. It's like Taylor Swift walking.
The energy shifted. It
The
was,
music
it was
stopped.
wild. It was wild.
Everybody wanted to see Big Dom and take a picture with him. Now, there was a lot of cool things that happened that night. One of which was I got to wear Chris Long's Super Bowl parade fur coat, legit, with an Eagles ring. You can't see here, with the Eagles insider himself, Dave Spadaro. That was nice. Show the ring picture, Fink, because I did get a picture. Oh, this is me right here modeling the fur coat for the restaurant.
This photo actually goes
for the
hard.
restaurant.
Yeah,
It looks a lot
Yeah, that's
better
a pretty-
over here, but it goes pretty hard.
I'd make that like my Twitter profile.
My buddy was like, "Oh, I thought that was Chris Long, but then I saw your head," and I was like, "Oh, dude, why you got to do that to me?" All right, do you have the ring photo, Fink? Because I think that's this is the pinnacle. This, I mean, folks, you can't do it any better than that. That's a real.
First of all, the ring's completely out of focus.
I
You just
know.
want to show that picture of yourself.
He's like,
Like,
he
damn,
was happy with the way he
you
looked.
can barely even make out the
He
ring.
just
Just
needed
the
to get that one
Jesse
out.
over I want you to know.
That is a
Golden
great
State
jawline.
Warriors
Is that what you want us to
championship
remark on the
Jesse's so
jawline?
happy with that picture. He had
I
to
want
get
you
it out.
to know that I'm not being serious there. Like I am trying to get like the stupid. I have a better picture with her.
I heard you asked Philly
Look
Chit
at
Chat
that.
to take your photo. in
Huey
there.
Dillon, baby.
Yeah.
Huey. Anyway, my point is this, and Fink, you can take that picture down at any moment.
Like immediately.
Now, just know I sent that to him to embarrass myself. So
No, he did
you're
not.
welcome. Yes, I did. You stop lying.
How come all these chicks in the chat are saying, "Woo"? They're all turned on there. How hot
No,
was that?
Devin, you cannot spam the chat, please. No, Devin was there. Everyone had a great time. And I thank Mark. Mark has been a supporter of Make the World Better for a long time. Purchased a ticket. Tom has been a in-kind supporter of Make the World Better for years. They've been doing Federal Donuts has been doing all of our concerts, all that. Fink was given a invite solely because Devin lended her services.
Oh, I
So
thought
he
it was because you
no,
liked me.
he was riding her coattails as usual. And it's just a thing, and we know it, and it's fine. Dev,
That's why
you
he gets
get it.
scolded in
It's
the chat
okay.
during his pod.
Anyway,
Fink, you told me you got those credentials through the fantastic Fox Sports show, dude.
Yeah, I didn't think Jesse was going to blow up my spot.
it's called
Right here.
Fantastic Fox Sports Show. Anyway, the point is, Dom is in there, and he is like a celebrity. Everybody wants his photo, and he toured the entire restaurant. So at that point, I knew nobody said anything to him, and he was good to go. So, but interestingly, and if any of you guys follow City Pitches on Twitter, earlier we announced that we were going to have Dom's mentor. Some of you guys may know Butch Ionico, who was the head of security for the Eagles prior to Dom, and who, Dom learned everything under. And I talked to Dom on Monday night. And he said he was the first person he was calling. And
One of my favorite words, tutelage.
tutelage, yes, under the
Under his
tutelage.
tutelage.
And so the reason that we want to have Butch on for a couple of reasons, but I'm going to play this video. Lecco, hold on one sec. You pull that thing, cue it up. So Butch actually had a similar instance. It's different because he didn't have an altercation per se, but he did cost the team a penalty. And so I wanted to show this this video that shows what happened with Butch back in the days when Butch was the head of security. Lecco, can you cue said video, please?
J.R. Reed into Carolina territory. Finally taken down inside the 30 by Ricky Manning Jr., and there is a late flag as well.
of 15 yards, unsportsmanlike on the Eagles. Official on the sideline was knocked down by a member of the team's bench.
Comes all the way across to make the tackle. There's your collision right there down at the bottom. Actually, I'd give it to a player and a coach on the sideline.
Okay, so I just want to say,
Poor Butch
By
wasn't
the way-
expecting J.R. Reed to be a burner
No.
down those sidelines. My man was flying in that play.
It's a
listen,
horrible call.
listen, if we pulled that off, can someone in the chat tell us if that video montage we just did worked? Because if it did, I think we made up for the beginning of the show right then and there. Okay, so
And also, if it did work, could you hear us talking about it in the background?
yeah, we don't know
while
what's
we
going
play?
on. Okay, so
Thank you.
interesting scenario there. You see Butch running down the sideline, excited about the fact that J.R. Reed is returning a kick, right? And the ref runs up behind him because he's literally like a foot off the field,
Yeah.
and gets knocked down. And interesting to me that they called a penalty there because it didn't impact.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the
Yeah.
play. Who cares? You fell down.
So
You got to penalize my man Butch over
Right.
here?
yeah. So what happened after that? By the way, Butch is like the most legendary South Philadelphia person. He started his career as a Philadelphia police officer, and the reason we were going to have him on the show is because not only was Butch the head of security under Andy Reid for many years, at one time he was the head of the security detail for the mayor of Philadelphia, one Ed Rendell. And I will let you guys know, you know how you have those characters when you're growing up that like you'll just never forget? They're just the most individually compelling characters. I mean, this dude, he was Philadelphia to me. Do you know what I mean? He would, my dad had probably 8, 10 different guys and women that drove him around. And he was the head of the show. And I'll give you one anecdote about Butch that I thought was really funny. And he actually was going to tell some stories about me because I got out of trouble a bunch of times and I never knew if it was getting to him. And I'm guessing that it did. And he got to like shut stuff down. And we were going to get those stories. So I promise you guys, if this is interesting to anyone but me, we're going to get him on. We're going to have these stories. But I'll give you one story. So every once in a while, the detail would do something. And this was the same when my dad was mayor or my dad was governor. They would do something that was not related to security. Like, for example, on one occasion, Butch picked me up from the airport, right? So he picked me up at the airport. I can't remember where the hell I was coming from. Had to be teenager. I don't know how old I was, but so he picks me up and he's in like a minivan, unmarked minivan, whatever. And so we're driving home. We're on 76. We're right by kind of when you get past University City before you get to, Chestnut Market, whatever. And there's a guy, he starts getting all pissed off. He's like, what the fuck is up with this guy behind me? Back the hell off. I'm just sitting there like, okay, yeah, cool, no worries. And all of a sudden this goes on for a little while. And Butch goes, I'm sorry, Jess, I got to handle something. He reaches down, grabs the portable police light, reaches out of the window, slaps it on top, turns it on, slams on the brakes in the middle of 76, right? Where there's no anything. Gets out of the car, goes back, yells at this dude for literally like a minute, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. Gets back in the car, slams the door. He's like, all right, Jess, let's go. And like that was just one little microcosm of the Butch experience. So I can't wait to get him in here to talk about, he's got great stories about, the stuff he's got with my dad is probably unbelievable. So we're going to get him in here. This week was going to be particularly relevant though, because, he had the same experience as Dom and he still talks to Dom all the time. But we're going to get him back. So that is the Butch Anico story.
Can't wait for Butch.
You guys down with that? Yeah, Butch is a very meech guy.
in.
Like these guys will get along right away. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay. On that note, we're going to pivot. I know that was a bit of a diatribe. Thank you guys for listening to me. I think we're going to pull in our man from Chili Bets because Meech told me when he came in here that he's been doing pretty well. And I think he bought us all dinner. Was that the idea? You're doing well? Was I supposed to pay
did
you
I
back?
buy it? Did FanDuel buy it? Or did Chili Rufo buy it?
We don't know.
Let's find out.
But thank you for that. The pizza was delicious.
You're welcome.
So if somebody could add Chili to the stage in here, all right,
There he
let's make
is.
sure we can hear him. Yo,
in that fresh chili merch, look at him.
yeah.
What's happening, my man?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. I can see you guys too. So couldn't see you guys last night.
Sweet.
Beautiful. Yeah, this is better than last time where I think you saw a picture of Fink's cat, right?
Yeah, I was staring at the pic the whole time for sure.
Joel Catby.
Beautiful. All right.
How about
Now-
my sound?
now,
Is any good? There's some music in the background. I don't know.
No, you're good, dude.
You're good.
Okay.
Now, we don't want to keep you too long because I know you probably got halftime live wagers you got to get out. But that's like the new thing with FanDuel. They put out these halftime live bets, right? And Chris, tell the people, some of these lines are crazy, especially like last night was an in-season tournament game where even if the game's a blowout, these guys are going to play a few extra minutes and they're going to probably exceed their scoring totals. But tell them how great the live bet odds are in FanDuel.
So it's only FanDuel, I think, that's posting them, but the lines are just ridiculous. So example, say Embiid's point line's at 30. If he has 12 in the first half, so for some reason he's slightly below under pace, they'll bump his 30-point line to like plus 300 when, I mean, he could easily go 12 and 18 and get to 30. That's just an example.
Not only to mention, he's like the highest scoring third quarter guy in the NBA. So he's like the perfect kind of guy to pull that on.
Exactly. The goal obviously is just to attack like the stars who score in the second half. Like they're always going to have like one good half to get back to it. I'm literally on Embiid right now, 50 points, because he had 15 in the first quarter, and then he had like 28 in the first half, and then his 50-point line was like plus 600. I was like, that's a milestone. He's going for it. Like there's just player incentive to shoot for. It's pretty cool.
Right, and that's something you can't account for. Like I don't think FanDuel understands that he would actually shoot for something like that. It doesn't go into their algorithm, especially with these live lines. You can't account for, but you just got to hope the game stays close at the end, pretty much, right? But all right, for example, last night we were he put out on the first in-season tournament game. I think Julius Randle had like 19 at the half, and Giannis maybe had 16, something like that. Let's just say that. So we did Giannis for 35, Randle for 40. No, Randle had more than that. He had like 26 at the half, right?
Yeah, he was killing it, and his line for 40 for some reason was through the roof.
Yeah, and for him to only score 14 more points, he was like plus 290. And so we parlayed that with Giannis to get 30. And next thing you know, I'm hitting a $700 bet on $55. I thank you for my man. That was huge last night.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking
I'm
crazy.
gonna call you Santa Chili at my house. But you're buying all my kids their Christmas.
That's the goal. That's the goal, man. It's about that time. The odds are insane. And then like we were saying, it's just there's incentives you can look at. Like I feel like FanDuel obviously prices everything objectively. Like this is what he should get. But like if Embiid has 9 assists, he's going for that 10th assist. Like they don't look at that shit. So NBA is definitely some value.
Yeah, so you follow the shit and listen, Chili keeps you disciplined. He's not crazy. It's one capper in the bet in the Discord. If you're looking
capper in the Discord, baby.
If you're looking to make some holiday cash, go check out Chili Bets. Give him a try for a month.
How do we do that, right? So for the rest of us that aren't familiar with the cappers in the Discord, how do we get involved with Chili if we want to make some money for our presents?
Yeah, you know what? I can get you guys. If you want to share like a link, like a free 5-day pass or something like that. If that works, I don't know if there's some way.
But for the commoner, for the regular person out there who's trying to join, just let them know how to do it.
Yo, don't interrupt him on that free 5-day pass though.
Well, he'll give that to you anyway.
What do you mean? Like how to join? Pretty much.
What do you have to sign up? Is that Dub Club you got to go to?
Yeah.
Go to Chili Bets on. We're just trying to get you more subscribers to you.
I appreciate it. So Chili
because a lot of people have no idea about this. They're watching this. They're not on Twitter. They don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot to it. They make it probably harder than it needs to be. But Chili Bets on Twitter. There's basically a Dub Club link, which will hook you up to another app, which is Discord. And then basically I send an ad out to everyone. You get the notification. You see the pick. Put it in. The live bets are kind of more so if you're trying to be proactive, be on your phone. But there's obviously other shit to put in, win some money. So
beautiful.
I think he's only had one week that wasn't profitable since he's been on.
11 out of 12.
I'm interested in the bets. Don't get me wrong, but that's a nice sweatshirt. You know what I mean? Is there a Chili merch store somewhere that we need to know about? What's the deal?
So we had it up, but it's down now. But I have a shitload of hoodies. in my bedroom, so I can get you guys some. And yeah, I mean, I just told them to hit me up on. I just told people to hit me up on Discord, and I'll send it out to them. It's pretty simple. I only got larges left though. So
larges?
There you go.
Yeah,
Ooh.
but if you guys are larges, I got the hookup.
I'm a little husky for that, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, same
but
here, man.
that's a nice
I'm
item.
on the XL grind. Appreciate it.
Now, what are we on tonight? I didn't have time to put anything in. I was preparing for the show, and I'm a dedicated podcast host, so
right.
I really didn't get a chance.
Let me tell you what that included.
Ordering pizzas.
I'm telling you, my phone screen time's like through the roof now, so I could probably pull it up. Just 14 hours of just refreshing FanDuel and Discords back and forth. It's brutal.
Great. Yeah, it's like honestly more than a full-time job. You put more hours in this than most people do during their job. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I appreciate it. Thanks, Meech. Appreciate it.
Kudos to you. I'm glad you and Meech are gonna have a Merry Christmas. I might tap into the
Can I
Discord.
ask a question?
You could too.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
And don't take this the wrong way. I actually am admiring this. Have you been able to carve this out as a full-time occupation? We were actually, before we got on the show, talking about someone we know who's a full-time poker player. So I'm just interested.
Jeez. Yeah. So I started it in September. I want to say September 7th, and then full-time. Quit my other job full-time as of like 2.5 weeks later. So it's going well.
There you go.
Baby.
Good stuff,
Love to
man.
see
It's
it.
because
Love
of
to
the
see
Congrats
it.
on
diehards
that.
like Meech
Appreciate it.
that stay
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Discord,
Listen,
baby.
I've been a day one
With
Philly
my-
guy.
Beautiful. All right, dude. Hey, thanks for joining us. We will send as many people
Thanks,
your
my man.
way as we can. Hey, can you come by and
Chili
see us one time?
bats.
Where are you in Philly?
Yeah, I'm local. I'm Delaware County. I definitely got to come in. It's
All right,
probably
we're gonna
just
have
easier
a
that way.
we're gonna have
Come
a
in.
Christmas party. Okay, I want you to
Say
come to
less.
the Christmas party. Say
Sounds good
less.
to
We'll
me.
get you details. It's gonna be for
Yeah, shoot me a
the
text. I'm there.
Eagles Seahawks game. I'm gonna announce
Awesome.
more information, but if you can come,
Every time you say that, I get sad.
it's gonna be fantastic. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
we're
man.
going to-
Scheduling's tough. Scheduling's tough. All right, thanks, dude.
All right, get back to
Good
the
luck.
live
I appreciate
bet,
you
my
guys.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
Now,
you.
guys, we have to have a breaking segment because there's a lot of things going on tonight. Sixers, Wizards. It's like anytime the Wizards could be the least exciting. You know, when the Sixers play the Wizards, come on, it's garbage.
Nobody
Okay.
cares.
You got that. You got Iona playing. Mark,
What's going
are
on
they
with
not doing
Sully?
well?
How they doing?
We were down 57-47 with 2.5 minutes to go. It is 59-55 with 26
Now,
seconds.
no one cares. But here's the thing. I
Oh.
do want to hear the story behind because nobody knows why you care about Iona. I want to get to that. But there was a more important game tonight. And this took place just off of City Line Avenue between a handful of mediocre at best basketball players. And there's one individual who thought this game was a can't miss scenario. And I get that he's true to his team, but we need to get an update. And I want to get right to it. What was the line that won Roger Rock Matthews? What was the basketball game line that you put up tonight, sir?
It was bad. It was bad.
At least he's honest. He could have came on
From
here.
the jump.
Oh my
From the
god,
jump.
it was terrible. I think I had about 6 points, probably I don't know, 4 rebounds, maybe an assist or two. It was a bad night. I had an off night, you know.
Rock,
You
not to
can't, you
make
can't
your
win
night,
them all.
Yeah,
not to
Rocky
make your
B-ball.
night any
Says
worse.
Rocky B-ball.
I took over your spot now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see that, man. Don't be farting in my chair over there. Right?
He already carved his name on the
Lethal.
desk over here.
I know you got that. Yeah, it was a bad night. You know, you can't win them all. Like last week, I came out there and probably dropped about 25, and this week I just, some nights you're just not feeling it. I'm like the Jordan Poole of the league. You know what I mean?
On and off. Did you sustain?
Fink wants to know, what do you think of the
Look at
name The
Squirrel.
Rock Tank?
I did not see it with the mock tank. What?
the Rock Tank.
Never
You're gonna
Look
go
at
to
the
the
line
Fink
that
Tank.
I
Squirrel
was
gave
just
him.
messing with you, my man.
That's the idea. Can we get the chat
I
back
can't, I
on there?
can't believe Rock came on here and just lied on air saying he dropped 25 points last week. Stop that.
Oh, come on. Dude.
Aleko, can you throw up the chat so I can see it in there? All
Fink,
right.
You
Well,
see me.
B-ball Rock.
I can get hot,
Oh.
man. I can get hot. You know what I mean?
By the way,
last
this-
week I was hot. This
Oh,
week I was cold.
yeah. Wait, Rock, look at what Radical Squirrel said your line was.
That
Zero.
that was me about. So I had a shitty game this week, had a great game last week, and the week before I was about 0, 0, and 0. So squirrel.
Well,
could
maybe
be
you should have taken the week off and come to the podcast, but it's fine. Luckily, we have a
It's all good.
deep.
Podcast came at him. That's terrible.
Yeah, we have a deep. We got a deep roster, so it's fine. It's totally fine.
I know.
Damn it.
When I first turned the podcast on, I couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anything. I was tempted to just come straight over there and fix all the audio video equipment for together, but
don't worry, I got it handled, Rock. I
up.
fixed it. Don't you worry.
Yeah,
thank you.
Fink got us. Okay.
Rock the PJ.
So I did want to talk quickly about some exciting things that are happening here because we got the Coop we've had for a while. By the way, we started up an account for the Coop, so check out the Coop Philly for details on what's going on at the Coop because we have more things happening. And Saturday night we have this kind of mysterious event, which I guess I'm just going to come right out with it and kind of ruin the surprise. Although I was
and make it not so
Don't
mysterious.
tell him.
Is he allowed to do that?
Don't
tell him.
No, I
Can you give me
don't
that?
do
Can
it.
you
No,
give me
I'm
that?
not.
Don't tell him.
I'm not.
Wasn't I told to tell them?
Tell him.
I'm not
Give me
getting
the sign.
part of
Give me
this.
the sign.
I'm not
Give
doing
me
this. I can't.
sign.
I can't.
Aleko, can you shoot that sign there? We have
Is he allowed to do this?
the Don't Tell comedy show going down at the Coop on Saturday night.
No.
I'm not allowed to tell you
Place
who's
is gonna
on
be
the
packed.
show, but
This Saturday?
trust me. What'd you say?
This Saturday?
This Saturday. Oh, I know you're a comedy guy. Can you
I
come?
love comedy. I believe so. I got to go talk to the
Okay.
wife. But I think we're
What-
So-
Rock,
aren't
rock
we
a
supposed to tell
non-sports event at the Coop. I think Lindsay's going to be here.
Yeah.
I don't know where she's gonna be. You know, she's a mover and a shaker. You know, sometimes she's in New York doing her real estate thing. But if she's here,
All right. We'll get you here at a minimum. But I know that there are some amazing comics that are going to do this. We're going to have upwards. I think they already sold 60 tickets. We're going to have probably 100 people in here. It's going to be wild. If you're watching this and you like comedy and a good time, no better place to be Saturday night than the Coop for the Don't Tell comedy show. There
Kind
you
of
go.
mad I'm not going to be able to make it.
I know Meech is bartending, like I said, every night of the week for the next 3 weeks. But, you know, you got to do. Can't knock the hustle. Then,
got a family to care for.
so on the heels of that, on Sunday night, we do have a big game. Like I said, it's Dallas week. And it's late in the show here, but I think I'll officially say we're going to turn the page and we're going to go to Dallas week and start to get fired up for that. And, you know, if you want to stay home and watch it on your couch so that as soon as, you know, the game's over, you can go right to bed. You can get all comfortable and snuggle in. You're terribly lame. And I've noticed, by the way, a lot of people who come to watch games here, they're taking off in the third quarter because they want to be nestled into bed. And I just think they're the biggest frauds. But here's the thing. We'll be here, right? All of us, friends, family. If you're watching the show and you would like to come to the Coop, you've never come before, you should come. Shoot us a DM. We'll give you all the info you need. Come on down. We got spacious couch scenarios. We got high tops. It's very jazzy.
There's only a slight initiation.
You'll probably be offered cannabis products by someone. I mean, let's just be honest about it. And you're going to have, I'm saying it, you're going to have a great time. You guys, it's freaking street legal, man. Are you serious at this point?
No, it's not.
Anyway, point is, you got to come down. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a wholesome event. Friends, family, what have you. We'll be here. Dallas sucks. And if the Eagles win, it's going to be great. If they don't, it's going to be terrible. And it's just, you know that going into any scenario that you get into. Then, on the heels of that, the following week, we've been looking for a time to have the Christmas party. You guys remember last year? Let's throw it back to last year.
The annual Christmas party now.
Back
we
in
can
the-
finally, when you have it twice, it'll be
annual.
Annual.
I've gotten yelled at for calling an event annual in the first year, but I've learned you say inaugural. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, last year, back in the Kismet Maniunk era, we had an awesome time. Remember, Jamie Lynch was our guest, and he's just around the corner. He probably can't come on the air with us, but I'm going to get him in the building for it. We had what ended up being like a potluck thing. You remember we had what? Angelo's. You brought this stuff from the bakery. Remember?
Yeah, I brought Holmesburg Bakery.
What else
and
is
I
in
brought
there?
Charlie's Pizza.
Tom brought like Goldie.
I had the hummus and pita from
We had it all.
Goldie.
We had too much.
I'll bring that again.
I thought it was such a cool spread where everyone kind of brought something from their neighborhood that I would love to bring back the concept for this of the potluck Christmas party. Okay, so here's the deal.
Yo, now I'm straight up crying over here.
I'm sorry. Mark cannot be here, so he's upset, but it's very hard to plan around 6 people's schedules.
Where are you going to be?
It's almost impossible.
I'm being down in Tennessee watching the Titans
going
game.
to like Aruba.
You got business, and
I got
that's
business
fine.
in
You could probably
Tennessee.
come home earlier, but your call.
Tennessee.
Okay.
You're the only 10.
But
Tell
real
him,
quick,
Fink. There it is.
You're the only 10 I see, Mark.
listen, this was very
game of
hard to
horseshoes.
schedule because of Meech's bartending schedule. But when the Eagles game moved to Monday night, we realized he didn't have a gig that night. And let's just do a watch party, Christmas party, potluck. We will do a podcast. I think we're going to do a pregame podcast.
I'm
So-
like one of the Eagles fans whose plane tickets leave Seattle Monday morning. And now they're screwed.
Yeah, but like, and I know it's going to cost you money, but you got to change your flight. You got to change,
Oh, I agree.
Right. So it sucks. I know people are like, I can't go anymore. And I guess maybe if they have obligations, I
It sucks
understand.
because like there's going to be entire planes that have to be changed probably.
Right. But if you're like me and Meech and you, and me and him stayed when we went to
Stay till Wednesday.
yeah, we went to LA
Stay
from
here till
Friday to
next week.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. But anyway, that night, I think it's the 19th. Is that right, guys?
Yes.
All right.
No,
Yes.
18th?
Is
Monday.
it the 18th?
Monday the 19th.
Monday the 19th for
No.
the.
No,
No,
it's Monday
it
the
got
18th, but
flexed
if you want
from
to do
the
it on the
18th to the
19th, I can be there.
My bad. I should get the details right. Monday the 18th, City Pigeons, Christmas potluck party, live pregame podcast, whatever you want to throw in there.
Ooh.
Watching this, you want to come?
Squirrel.
Come on, send us a DM.
New Year's Eve
Squirrel,
party.
you gonna be back for that, buddy?
New Year's Eve party, Squirrel.
I don't know. He's
said.
gonna be back for that. Oh,
Squirrel's
you know
got
what?
a coconut right now, dude. He's got a coconut drink right now. He's not.
Yeah, he's drinking a coconut drink. Also worth noting around the holidays. So Squirrel and I were down the shore a couple months ago with a guy who is part of a troupe that does the the New Year's Day parade, the Mummers. Well, I can't believe it. It took me that long to say that. It's fucking terrible.
Oh, we gotta clip that.
And the reality is, I've never done that before, or really, I'm aware of it, but I've never participated. And this guy was like, "You guys got to come." And so I think we might have committed ourselves to becoming part of one of these.
Being in the parade or going to it?
No, I think we're going to be in it.
Wow.
Yeah. Is it all right? Squirrel, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Froggy Car are the dudes. The Froggy.
Froggy Car's nuts. They're the ones that break the rules every year and just end up peeing on the streets.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
They end up on the front page of the paper
They have, like,
for all the wrong reasons.
They get canceled.
They give you rules and they just break every single rule and then they don't give a shit.
You can
they're
see
like the
Radical
outlaws.
Squirrel says, "I'm scared." We don't know what to expect.
I think
but
you'll be in the center chair for the episode after that. Jesse will be.
Everyone else is
Listen,
in jail.
as I was debating whether or not I should do this and feeling kind of like not sure about what I was going to get into, I was like, I have to do this as an experiment, for content alone, just to experience it from that side of things, never having done this before in my life. So I'm doing it for us. That's the idea. Does that make sense, to you guys?
Is this going to be an all-day thing for you? Like you're going to go march up Broad Street and then hang out and party down at 2 Street
Dude,
afterwards and do the.
I was told-
You've never been to 2 Street at night.
Not in no
On New Year's Eve?
No,
New Year's
and
Day?
Me
no,
neither.
but I was told we have to meet at like 7 a.m.
Oh, it start. Yeah.
I don't think I have the stamina for this. So this is going to be fun. We're gonna talk through this, and I'm gonna try my best to make myself a part of this, and you guys are gonna get to hear about it. So that sounds good, right?
Sounds good to me.
Does
Yeah.
that mean you're going to be doing the polar bear plunge at like 4
I think
a.m.?
a couple of my
No,
son's
I
friends
can't
are
do
in
both.
Froggy Car.
Although my wife is kind of like, wait, what? I think she signed off, but I told her this is something I have to do. As a Philadelphian, I have to do this once at least. So here we go. It's gonna be fun. A lot of great events coming up. Holiday season. By the way, if you need some shirts, right? citypigeonspod.com
There's a
because
cat.
we still got a bunch of City Pigeon shirts. We got Schwarby shirts. If you're a big Kirkering fan and you think he's going to be
Great
good next
holiday
year,
gift,
we got a
stocking
shit ton of
stuffer.
those too.
I'm following these trade deadlines. Like, please, Lord, don't trade Orion Kirk.
If you live in Reading and he's going to be on your team next year, and you
Yeah.
want to get a shirt.
Hate,
guys
Great
are mean.
idea.
hate,
Where my boy is at? I got you.
hate. So yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. A lot to sink our teeth into over the coming weeks, and we're going to know a lot more about the football team, right, over the next couple of weeks and where we're
not
headed.
Panicking.
And we did say we had such a great tailgate, and thank you to everybody that was a part of that.
That was epic.
Yeah, epic tailgate that we definitely want to run it back for playoffs. So best case scenario, we've got at least a home game, but we're gonna see how it plays out, and we're here for it, and we're here for you.
Rock, who's your co-star over there?
That's TT the cat.
TT the cat.
Say hi.
By the way, TT reminds me of DD, and Lindsay was sending us some DD content through the Instagram. What's DD been up to?
I think she got her hair done the other day. Maybe I'm not really sure, to be honest with you.
She's got her hair.
I mean,
Oh,
92, getting the hair done.
If you want to hear an interesting,
She ran
Yeah,
the
Mitch,
half
tell the story.
last weekend.
she, I'm like connected to Dee Dee in a certain, like some Kevin Bacon kind of way.
Do
you
tell.
want to hear this?
Yeah, I do.
Dee Dee and her husband, right? Norman.
Yep.
They opened Salon Normandy, which is a hairdresser place in Philadelphia. Well, buddy,
it's called a hair salon. It's called a hair salon.
Hairdresser place is what I like to refer.
I like the hairdresser.
It's a hair salon, right? Yeah. My buddy Vinny, who I went to high school with, he works there in the one in the Northeast. So when I'm sending my, trying to find a barber to send my kids to, I go to my buddy Vinny, and he's at Salon Normandy, and we were there before we met Rock and his lovely wife. So
amazing.
That's a little connection that we
is
had.
the Kevin Bacon of Philadelphia. There's no doubt about it. Beautiful. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a
Isn't
nice,
that nice,
wholesome moment. And I think that pretty much will do it for us, guys.
That's our, we need weekly DD content.
We
do,
agree.
Rock. Yeah.
I agree.
I'll see what I can gather. All right. No, that's no problem. I'll gather it.
All right.
She's on board. I'm going to get her in there. I'm going to try to get her in there.
She's here for the Christmas party.
Yeah, I'll
She'll
try to get
cut
her in
everyone's hair.
So to reiterate, Sunday night comedy show at the Coops. Oh, no, Saturday night. Saturday night comedy show.
Don't tell comedy.com. Check
Sunday
it out.
night. What is it? Don't tell comedy.com.
I won't tell them.
We told.
They
Sunday
can't
night,
tell them.
Eagles Cowboys. Monday, the 18th of December, Eagles Seahawks, City Pigeons, potluck, Christmas party, and pregame pod that Mark will not be at.
This place is happening.
Let's go. And by the way,
if you need a place to host your holiday party or any other party, or just some people to hang out and have a good time, it's the Coop Philly, and DM Jesse, and he'll give you all the details.
At the Coop Philly. We just had a guy in here who's taking a look at the place for a casino night. He's going to put a bunch of poker tables in here.
Yep.
It's amazing. And we get to go to all this stuff.
The only stipulation, you have to invite us.
If you need catering for your event, Thanks
during
Hoagies,
your
$650 per person ahead. Talk to us for catering.
Thanks Hoagies. On that note, I think there's no better way to close this down.
Boo! Boo!
I showed this in the last episode, but I didn't do it justice, folks. I brought the Rendelli Wawa Hoagie box.
That's a large
into
box.
the Coop. Look at this. This was filled with Wawa Hoagies. Now I'm negotiating with Fink to try to
filled
recreate
with Wawa Hoagies.
That's
So
correct.
it was multiple hoagies, not a full real 6
I'm not
foot hoagie.
sure. I'm not sure. I think they were sliced up, but I'm
Wawa, you
negotiating with
frauds.
Fink
You have a
to
6 foot half
recreate
seated.
this for, my dad has an 80th birthday coming up.
What's that?
He's got a party, and Wawa's they're probably thinking, he's not in the spotlight anymore. They're not gonna do it. Finks
will do it.
Let's recreate the Rendelli.
What was on the Rendelli? Do you know?
You know what? I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was like an Italian, but there was some pepperoni in there. I got to go back. I got to check it. But
You find out
it was
what's on
in
the
this box.
Rendelli, we make it happen.
Just
All
look
right.
at the
I love
picture.
it.
You can see.
Let's go.
See tomatoes and cheese.
All right, peeps.
Is that roast beef?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We are out. City Pigeons, episode 63.
Dallas
We
week.
appreciate you. Like, subscribe,
Dallas
Fuck
share.
Dallas. I'm Calvin, pissing on the
Thanks,
Cowboys
Hoagies.
logo.
Yeah, Cowboys.